Welcome back to this beefy, truffly, Wreckless podcast. We're about to get down and dirty with this thing, man. It's I'll let you guys talk about it because I hate to talk about my own food. I like it when other people say about it. I mean, I can tell you the facts, but for me to say it's good, it's kind of like kind of stupid. I think. So please talk about it. I'm going to serve us up here, and we got some wine, by the way. Dave from Regal, who was on 2 weeks ago, I believe, he dropped off some Nielsen wines for us to just try. We're going to start with the white, I believe, and I'd like to try with the white and the dark. I say dark. I can't believe I just said that. I think jammy. Yeah, Jesus. I'm old. That's what happened. My brain just left me right now. And then we'll try the Pinot with it. And then also we have truffles and truffle butter and wonderful things we're going to put in and out of this. And of course I saved the fat for dipping sauce. But so yeah, man, let's let me. I'll serve this up while you go for it. Yeah.
Well, actually, I want to know a little bit about the truffles.
Yeah, please.
Well, ask me anything you'd like to know.
So can you tell us a little bit about where these come from, what type they are, and then a little bit about Sabatino? Actually, can I see one of these?
Yeah. You want a big truffle?
Yeah, yes.
So I brought with me today, we have Burgundy truffles. And in my cooler with us as well, I have one of the Alba white truffles.
That's like the pie prize.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know what the difference is. So
Correct.
They hear truffle or whatever.
Well, this is a black variety, and then the white is the white variety, of course. This is an extension of what is known as the summer truffle, or the estivum. This is so gorgeous. Do I get a fork?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
You lined them up. There you go.
So this is an extension of a summer truffle, essentially. As the period goes into fall, it's known as a fall variety or the Burgundy, but it's truly the sister of the summer truffle. The difference between a summer truffle and what I'll show you shortly of the Alba white truffle is price points, first of all, and then the impact of the nose, the perfume.
Is it that the white truffles are more rare, or it's just
they're more prestigious? They break down much faster. This has a longer shelf life.
Okay.
It has a different skin, as you can see here.
Yeah,
and when you touch it, it
it's like
has a
alien
rhinoceros type
almost.
skin.
Yeah,
and it has
weird.
these spheric conical nubbins.
I'm sure you have looked at these.
Oh, bro,
before,
I've like slept with these and cuddled with them. Are you kidding, dude? I hold them during service in the little thing and open them every once in a while just to make me happy.
Cody's all, if you dig up my front lawn, you'll find them buried in random places.
When I die, you shove these in my every hole and I'll be happy. That's how this goes.
You'll have a different kind of soup.
Totally, yeah. I'm down. Let's put it that way. I'm down. So yes, and these are unique to. I missed. I was cutting steak. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I get one-minded when meat's around.
I feel the same way. I'm getting confused holding the steak.
There you go. There you go.
I need to eat this, but I don't know how to eat and talk because
That's okay.
That would be a long pause.
That's okay. That's okay. So where are these? Are these from one region? Did you say?
These, yes. Well,
Okay.
These grow all throughout Europe. The summer and Burgundy truffles you can find and source anywhere in Europe, really. They have a symbiotic relationship with trees, as all truffles do. There are approximately 200 varieties of truffles, but a very select few are edible, and far fewer are the prestigious ones that are culled and known throughout history.
So you said a lot of them aren't even edible.
Oh, sure.
Are they edible?
Hallucinogenic ones. We have some here in the United States.
They're edible, but
You better not be spending the day.
Are any of them psychedelic?
yeah, you just can't
there are.
you just can't make plans after. but they're edible.
Or you might regret the plans
Yeah,
you make afterward.
totally.
So this variety again, it's the Burgundy. Price points are a great factor. They're accessible. And this one can take some heat. You know, you don't need to put heat on top of a white truffle. It's enough to shave it tableside, and the experience is delivered to the guests immediately. This has a softer fragrance. If you put your nose to it, you get more of earth notes. You might pick up some hazelnut, but it's richer and more telling of the soil.
I was going to say, it smells like dirt.
Yes. And when you slice into it, this one actually has a slice in it, so you can see the color of the interior. It's
like
marbled, beige, coconut.
Like dirt right after it rains. Like,
Correct.
You know that soft dirt?
Yeah, it is. It's a loamy, wet earth.
You should really take a bite of that steak with
I need
that
to.
funk,
All right,
and
so
then
now
smell some of this.
Someone else talk while I chew.
That's all right.
I thought you were
So
going to say you should really take a bite of that truffle.
Hey.
Just
Definitely, we have some we could shave. I believe.
My
Right?
Oh, we do. Let's please. Why don't you select a truffle?
Hey, now we're talking dirty. See, that's what we're waiting for.
all right. So I want to see how this steak is.
Yeah, try the steak first. You'll see what I mean. But this is why I wanted to do this steak with those truffles. Was very simply. A lot of people say that you don't put earth on earth, or a lot of people say you don't try to put funk on funk. And I think there's some things that just go better together, funky. And truffles are one of them. And so your dry aged steak is going to have all this earthiness.
Oh, what?
Right. So just the steak alone, what are you getting from that, man? I mean, it's a little different ballgame.
Like blue cheese.
Yes.
Right. So blue cheese, you're going to get the humble fog, the funky goat.
Humboldt fog. There
Yeah,
you go.
you're going to get the Humboldt fogs. You're going to get earth out of it. By no means is there a game to it. That means it's been cured right.
Oh, finish
it's
this clean, man.
Right. So that's how you can tell if something's either rotten or aged, right? If it didn't finish clean, if you got this weird like funk to it, right? Oh, yeah, I thought he was going to put something else on my face. That was a little weird for you to watch.
Nah, whatever.
We're old friends, but we're not that old friends,
But even with just a little sliver of that fat, that is so creamy.
Right.
It melts in your mouth.
So fat content on a dry aged steak, which is pretty rad. I don't know if you got some, Tony. You got a knife and everything?
I need a knife.
You need a knife here.
I need a spoon. I want to put some more butter on mine.
Yeah,
Or no.
we can do it all. There's a knife. And then here's the fat right here too, guys, if you want to try that. I dipped it in there just so you can get a little more of the funk. But the fat is really, it melts like cream cheese.
And it doesn't like.
Now, mind you, this isn't like Wagyu we put in the dry ager.
Right.
So know that too. Like if you were to put Wagyu and dry age it, I mean, I don't know for a fact because I don't think anybody would ever do that for that long, but it would turn to mush. So this is
Disintegrator.
This is a choice, great steak. That's not your prime cuts. It's not anything. And basically, as the age goes, that's what happens to a good steak. Not like the prime steak you'd eat right out of the 30 days out of the cow.
Why is it just like the enzymes break it down in this way?
Yeah, it's the way that the meat actually just solves its own problems.
Because meat magic.
Well,
I love that meat solves its own problem.
it solves, Mother Nature. I tell people, they go, what'd you do to that steak? I said, nothing, man. Mother Nature did it all, dude. We just grill it and slice it, and that's how it goes. So, but a little bit of this truffle is going to go a long way now that you've the gamey on it. So,
Yes. Do you want me to select one? Does somebody
Sure.
want to come and grab one?
Niyaz, go for it, brother. This is your first time doing truffle picking, I assume.
Just to give you a quick rundown, when you select a truffle, you want a nice and whoops. We'll get another one.
Yeah.
I did go back on the
That was a
plate.
bonus.
I didn't see where that
So, yeah,
went.
how does one
It's under
select
my
a truffle?
chair. You want it to be nice and firm. You will smell it. Sometimes you get a different note, and there can always be a bad apple.
Right.
There can be a bad truffle, and you don't want to put your nose on that, and you definitely don't want them to spend any time with your other truffles. So even when I receive my product, we go through them, we smell them, we clean them, and get them ready for sale.
So it should be firm.
You
and
want it nice
smell-
and firm. This is a good one.
Okay.
This is good and firm. Actually, I didn't take the nose, but I'm just thinking about the feel of it. You don't want it spongy. You can move your fingers around and find soft spots, but with a truffle, you can trim away a soft spot. You can still use
Yeah.
the truffle.
Absolutely.
This one smells less like wet and dirt like than the other one.
And what does it smell like?
Yeah, you got to put
just-
that microphone in your mouth.
Oh,
there,
sorry.
right?
It just smells.
You're right.
Smells
This is
more
mild.
dry. More dry.
Mhm,
and
This has
mild,
more
yeah.
of a nuttiness than
Yeah.
the other one, which is earth. So
Interesting. I didn't know that they would even vary like that. You think a truffle's a truffle?
there's a lot of variety,
they're-
actually. And there are some connoisseurs that I deal with that are very, very selective about the nose. And they're looking for a very specific note in what they're experiencing. And sometimes they just won't buy it all because they're not picking up what it is they're looking for. That's particularly for the whites.
Yeah, you're like snooty bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the price point for the whites are definitely different. So when I'm looking at black truffle and I'm like, hey, this is of truffle essence. When I smell a white, which I hope we'll get to in the next step with the next cut
Yeah.
for sure, you are looking for a completely different vibe than you are with a black winter truffle. I actually like these on dishes personally better than the white. That's my own 2 cents. I'm sure there's people that would yell and scream at me. No, Niyaz, don't hurt yourself.
Can you tell me why?
I like these because I think they're more adaptable to all flavors. I don't think they're overpowering.
Right.
So I think I could use these truffles in a way that add to a dish versus overpower a dish is why I like them.
I like that answer. Anyhow, and you're right. They also hold up to heat, so you can
Right.
saute with them.
Exactly.
And I think you told me that you hit them with heat,
Yeah, so what
almost for a toasting, just before they come out.
Right before they come out, I either make sure they sit in the heat lamp for an additional like 15 to 20 seconds just to make sure they curl a little bit, just kind of like Parmesan cheese would. And then I know that I get the essence out of them, or I take a light torch, not with the flames all the way up, so you get the essence of the gas, but I put a little heat over top and it curls them and it lets the oils come out. So when it's walking through the dining room, it's like, it blasts everybody in the dining room, and that's really what we're after. Unlike truffle oil, which you can see the difference of.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why and truffle oil had this huge kick. I just think there was nobody bringing good truffles for the longest time. But now that there's access to better truffles around here, I see very little truffle oil being used.
Good.
Which is good because you can smell the chemical in it. If you're going to, I don't know if you can explain better than I, but I know it's a chemical-based product versus there being a non-natural. And sometimes they put a little that was, for all you just know, that was
kind
just
of in heaven.
I'll shut up and let you enjoy that for a minute.
I was trying to talk and say something, and I just...
You lost. Yeah, I do. I don't know. I saw your mouth was moving, but I didn't hear anything that
My wife
came out
says
of
this
your
to me.
mouth.
My wife says it to me all the time. It's okay.
You were saying something, but I couldn't pay attention.
So how do you like that truffle with the beef, right?
It's fantastic. Oh, you.
It's...
Oh, both of you. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
got to hook up our boy over here.
You haven't had him yet? Oh, dude.
This
Come here-
is
come here,
such a
Bubba.
tease.
I'm
So,
just gonna give you this right here that has everything on it, and you go for the gold, bro.
but you see how beautiful
Go
it
ahead.
is too. I
Yeah.
think that the truffle is such a beautiful slice. These little
Right.
coins, like a stained glass window. And when you get into my favorite variety, which is the black winter variety of Perigord,
Right.
they're stunning. They're known as the black diamonds, so they have a dark black, rich cocoa interior with marbling around that's just exquisite.
Crazy. I get a lot of hazelnut from this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between that
Me
and a
too.
steak, maybe. I don't know, but definitely the nuttiness of the dry age with the truffle is fantastic. Woo!
Agreed.
That's gonna open my face up for sure. That's a godsend.
And I don't know if anybody knows this, but this is sort of breakfast because we all come in the morning. I got here around 10:30 with an empty stomach, and this is my first meal. How do
Right.
you top this? I don't think I'm going to eat again today.
Well, this is what our podcast is all about. Is when you leave, you go, "Fuck, what do I do tomorrow at breakfast? What do I do tomorrow? Right? Like, how do I make that work?" Well, it's that's a treat. That's a treat. So I got to ask you, Stephanie. Now that we're over wine and meals, what else do you do? You say, I'm sure you got a family. You're local. Why'd you get into
I'm local.
truffles? Where are you from? I'm a little curious. I always meet people and I always hear their end product, but I'm always curious how the hell do you end up in? Like, I want to be the truffle. I use the word queen because that's just what I called you, but
He's all,
I would dress up if they let me.
I want to be the truffle.
Why not? But how did you get into this? This is awesome.
It is awesome, and I really, really love this leg of my business.
Yeah.
She's all, yup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I can't.
As the cake bread
can't
guy
say
said last
no.
week, he goes, "My life sucks. I drive around, I drink cake bread all day."
Yeah. Oh. Well.
I was like,
Invite him over.
Exactly. That's what I said. So it worked out. So yeah. So
So I'm from New York. I'm an
Oh,
East
cool.
Coaster by origin, and grew up in the Midwest. Spent some time in Minneapolis. My mother remarried, so I went out to the countryside. And food was always a passion of mine. I have a mother who was an exceptional cook and always threw dinner parties. And food was always the center of our family. And we sat around the table and had these marvelous meals. And I was mentioning before off recording that my mother came from Germany. So she brought a lot of European style to the table. And we ate sweetbreads and calves brains and
That's the good
calf
stuff.
tongue and roast legs of as you go of ham, of lamb. So I always had my head around food. It was always a passion of mine and infiltrated in my family. Growing up in Minnesota was pretty boring as a child. And when I got into high school, my summer jobs, my girlfriends were all waitressing and doing tip types of jobs, and I went into kitchens. And that was where I enjoyed it most, It
So
was
you're a kitchen whore like all of us,
Yeah.
huh? That's what I am too. I claim that 100%.
that was back in the day when you had check pants with elastic bands. There was nothing cute
Cody
about
still
it.
wears those.
Yeah, I still have those. I hide them deep in my closet.
I outed you.
Are you wearing those?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore.
It's stylish now. People are really stylish. I like it.
Yeah, no, I all black it, dude. I comped in the kitchen. That's how it goes, dude. You got to be like stealth and move and make it happen. The crazy thing is you think it looks cool, but really you go to make pasta and you're like, why the hell did I do this? This is a horrible idea. But black came in, and everybody I think in the kitchens now try to go all
or
black.
denim, black, little leather.
The crack thing is denim's so hot.
Well, and you guys even have like the black gloves to make it match and look badass.
Yeah.
That's right. The neoprene glove.
They keep trying to bring me the blue ones. I'm like, come on, bro. I can't wear blue. Look, what are you
like a
doing to me?
doctor.
Yeah, get out of here. I'm not helping people. I'm serving them. Hey.
How did you get in, so
Yeah.
you grew up in
So
the
fast forward, food was always a part of my life. And even when I was going to school on the side, I was working in the industry. I was, a private chef. I had a catering business. I was working in kitchens. And so I was always pulled to the side. It was always around food. I had married, I met a gentleman when I was living in New York City. I moved back to New York after I left the country as fast as I could when I was 18. And my now ex-husband, who's Italian, took me to Italy. We were going for a 3-week vacation after 9/11. It was very difficult, of course, in New York, and he was a stockbroker, and my office was in Manhattan, and things were really shutting down. So we thought we would just spend 3 weeks, travel around Italy. I could meet his family. I was his newly engaged fiance. So a 3-week vacation lasted 10 years, literally. So what started out as a 3-week trip ended in 10 years.
That's how Gilligan's Island started out.
Kind of.
That's the same thing. I saw the show. Almost
There was no boat.
Oh.
Yeah. And we were in Milan, so there was no
much more
port.
fashionable.
3 hour tour. You're like, shit, what happened?
10 years later.
Well, you found truffles. They didn't find any of that stuff.
Yeah. So, true. So,
They would have stayed on the island.
They would have stayed the island, yeah.
10 years in Italy, and during that time I studied at La Cucina Italiana, which is an Italian cooking school in Milan.
Absolutely.
Kind of started collecting and selecting classes that interested me, and that just spurned into, that passion again was ignited in me. My ex and I would go to Alba every year and have a truffle experience, because the Alba white truffles, of course, are pulled out of the ground right around now. This is the season opening. So we would have a fall vacation, have these wonderful experiences, have them shaved over, quail eggs and asparagus, or soft scrambled eggs, or little pillows of fresh made pasta. Butter sauces, fonduto, which is a cheese sauce that is wonderful with truffles. And
put truffles on everything, man.
Everything. If you're going to spend that kind of money on them, you better put them on everything.
I guess so, huh?
Yeah, buddy. There could be a movie made of this. It'd be all wrong, but truffles on everything.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. They're the best. And the crazy thing is, I can't believe people don't like them. Have you heard this?
Yeah, well,
people get like snooty about it, right?
I sell to people who even tell me while I'm there, they complain and say, I don't even like truffles, but I have customers that like truffles. Right. It's funny.
So while you were over there, you started getting into it. And is that where you met with Sabatino? And is that where that started, or not until later? I mean, because I know that's got to be a different experience, which I never had. I was in France for a little while, but I never had like the truffle dinner. I was cooking at the time. I shaved a lot and I sent a lot out. Mm-hmm. But we didn't get to eat any, right? That guy like smacked my hand with the back of his knife. Don't touch those, and they were cheap there. But he still was like, those are mine. The scraps. Bastard, dude. I flew a long way to not get nothing. Thank you very much, you French bastard. But he did teach me a lot about them. But I never had that experience. And I would just watch people like eat and roll their eyes back, and I was like, mad. And that was it.
It's a wonderful experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you didn't.
So I moved to the United States. I came to Los Angeles in 2011 with my now ex-husband and our 2 children. I have 2 children who were born in Italy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On them being born in Italy for sure. That's the coolest.
Right. I know.
That's the best story.
Are trilingual children. Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, we moved back here to Los Angeles, and I went straight into work in the food industry because that's what I knew, and I worked in several sectors of the industry. At one point, I was working for a distributor, a food-based distributor, and during that time, we started a part of their business model was to extend fresh truffles to their customers. So their Sabatino came in at that point. I was introduced to Vincent and Federico, the owners and vice president of the company.
Yeah, go ahead.
They very generously were giving us product to sell through a leg of distribution. And I speak Italian. I speak food. I really enjoyed this relationship that I was building with this company for another company. Mm-hmm. So it kind of spurned from there. 12 months later, perhaps, I got a phone call while I was traveling with my children, and it was the owner of Sabatino, and he said, I just wanted to know if you would be interested in working for us at Sabatino. And it was perfect. It was good timing. I love the company.
That's awesome.
This is a family-based company that has...
That's like the heavens and skies opening up.
It really did.
Your opportunity.
It really did.
I love when that happens.
Because I kind of jumped out of the plane without a parachute.
Yeah.
And I was free-falling for a couple of months without any fear, which is ironic because it's usually the scariest time of your life. But I had a sense that, there's something out there. Totally. And then I got this call. So I've been with their company officially for a year. I run the California offices.
Oh, cool.
And I'm based in Los Angeles, Culver City. So we, of course, have fresh truffles 12 months out of the year. we work on the varieties that are seasonal. Right now, of course, the season, like we're shaving over our steak, is the Burgundy white winter truffles, the Albas. Then we'll go to the black winter truffles known as the Perigords. And then we go back to a spring variety in the summer truffle. And in the summer, maybe you've had them. I think you told me that you had them.
I've had the summers. The Perigords are my favorite.
The black winter Australians that come from Manijoop.
Super perfumey.
Fantastic.
Super perfumey. The taste is even lighter, I believe, but the nose is crazy on those.
Crazy nose. Actually, I have to say they perform on par. Absolutely, they are the identical species.
Oh, rad.
To the Perigord, and they're fantastic. And the price points are a little lower, so you get the ability to extend a winter truffle experience to your customers, and save a little bit of money.
So this is a actual question that I'm sure a lot of people want to know. Why does something that look like that cost so much money?
With that being said, we're going to talk about it right when we get back with the Wreckless podcast.